now listen for God's word to us from 1 Samuel chapter 24. When Saul returned from following the Philistines, he was told David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all of Israel and went to look for David and his men in the direction of the rocks of the wild goats. He came to the sheepfolds beside the road, where there was a cave, and Saul went in to relieve himself. Now David and his men were sitting in the innermost parts of the cave. The men of David said to him, "Here is the day of which the Lord said to you, I will give your enemy into your hand, and you shall do to him as it seems good to you." Then David went and stealthily cut off a corner of Saul's cloak. Afterward, David was stricken to the heart, because he had cut off a corner of Saul's cloak. He said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do this thing to my Lord, the Lord's anointed, to raise my hand against him, for he is the Lord's anointed." So David scolded his men severely, and did not permit them to attack Saul. Then Saul got up and left the cave and went on his way. Afterwards, David also rose up and went out of the cave and called after Saul, "My Lord, the king." When Saul looked behind him, David bowed with his face to the ground and did obeisance. David said to Saul, "Why do you listen to the words of those who say, 'David seeks to do you harm'? This very day your eyes have seen how the Lord gave you into my hand in the cave. And some urged me to kill you, but I spared you. I said, 'I will not raise my hand against the Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed.' See, my father, see the corner of your cloak in my hand. For by the fact that I cut off the corner of your cloak and did not kill you, you may know for certain that there is no wrong or treason in my hands. I have not sinned against you, though you are hunting me to take my life. May the Lord judge between me and you. May the Lord avenge me on you. But my hand shall not be against you. As the ancient proverb says, out of the wicked comes forth wickedness. But my hand shall not be against you. Against whom has the king of Israel come out? Whom do you pursue? A dead dog, a single flea? May the Lord therefore be judge and give sentence between me and you. May he see to it and plead my cause and vindicate me against you." When David had finished speaking these words to Saul, Saul said, "Is this your voice, my son David?" And Saul lifted up his voice and wept. He said to David, "You are more righteous than I, for you have repaid me good, whereas I have repaid you evil. Today you have explained how you have dealt well with me, and that you did not kill me when the Lord put me into your hands. For who has ever found an enemy and sent the enemy away safely? So may the Lord reward you with good for what you have done to me this day. Now I know that you shall surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. Swear to me, therefore, by the Lord, that you will not cut off my descendants after me, and that you will not wipe out my name from my father's house." So David swore this to Saul. Then Saul went home, and David and his men went out to the stronghold. Truly, this is the word of the Lord. I'm going to go ahead and bet that most of you didn't know that such stories were in the Bible. stories about kings relieving themselves in caves. I'm also going to bet that most of you have never heard a sermon before on kings relieving themselves in caves. Which makes me think that regardless of how this turns out, I will be able to leave church today and say that I gave a unique sermon. Now, as many of you know, we also talked last Sunday about King Saul. We talked about the bitterness that had unfortunately consumed him because he could not accept, just could not accept, the realities of his life. Although he was king, he lost favor with God for his unfaithfulness. He lost his popularity among his people and felt extremely jealous of and threatened by David. So jealous and so threatened that Saul makes up his mind to kill David. And he spends a lot of time, a lot of energy and emotion trying to do it. Chapter after chapter records Saul's anger and his misery as he tries to hunt down David. This is where our text for today begins. Saul is given a tip about where David and his band of men are hiding. Saul gathers together 3,000 of his best soldiers to march against David, to finally do away with this pest, this threat to his security and his control. It is while Saul is on this quest that he makes a stop at a cave along the side of the road. A rather minor thing of no consequence. Or so it seemed at the time. Turns out that God had some plans in place for Saul. Plans to use Saul's moment of weakness, his moment of vulnerability, to change Saul's life for the better. Yes, it may be a rather strange and obscure Bible story, but if you're willing to see it through, I do believe there is a valuable lesson here for us, for God's people. In preparing for my sermon this past week, I was very excited to come across the work of Dr. Brene Brown. Dr. Brown is a professor, a researcher who specializes not in theology or biblical studies, but in vulnerability of all things. Some of you may be familiar with her work. She has written 3 books, all of them, #1 New York Times bestsellers. And her TED Talk on this topic is one of the most watched TED Talks ever. As odd as it may sound, Dr. Brown has clearly tapped into something that people need more of in their life: vulnerability. Now, Dr. Brown covers a lot of ground in her research, but what I found to be the most compelling are the commonalities that she finds among emotionally healthy people. And she calls these emotionally healthy, emotionally courageous people the wholehearted. I just love that. In her research, she found that the wholehearted people of this world all look at vulnerability pretty much the same way. They don't view vulnerability as being pleasant or comfortable, that's for sure. But at the same time, they don't view vulnerability as being excruciating either. Healthy, wholehearted people simply see vulnerability as a necessity of life. For example, the willingness to try something new without any guarantees. That's a necessity. the willingness to invest in a relationship that may or may not work out, the willingness to say, I love you first, or at all, the willingness to ask for help, the willingness to admit their problems, their addictions. Dr. Brown found that emotionally healthy, wholehearted people see acts of vulnerability as simply fundamental to life. And because they do, they reap their benefits. They all experience a deeper sense of love, intimacy, belonging. By and large, her research shows that those who are more vulnerable, more authentic, are also more joyful. They are also more hopeful, more optimistic. Because being vulnerable opens them up to imagine a wider range of possible outcomes. Now, obviously, some people are better at this than others. Even Dr. Brown admits that she really struggles with it, even after studying this topic in depth for the past 16 years. For her, being vulnerable is, as she describes it, a street fight, which most of us can probably relate to. Being vulnerable is too dangerous. And so we spend a lot of our energy, a lot of our time, a lot of our emotions, a lot of our money even, trying to avoid that fight. Trying to avoid topics, situations, relationships that make us feel that way. Which brings us back to Saul. For a long time, as long as he could, he used his power as king to stay autonomous, to stay insulated, and to avoid God's path for him. And then, while waging this anger-fueled, ego-driven war against David, Saul is caught exposed. Inside a cave, alone. Separated from his guards, his soldiers, all the things that he used to keep himself safe. He's literally caught with his pants down. I know it's somewhat of a crass illustration for a sermon, but it works. Symbolism here is so rich, so simple that we can't help but get the point. Saul is separated from all the things that he uses to protect himself, while at the same time, David, the very source of Saul's fear and insecurities, is there in the cave with him. And in that moment of exposure, that moment of raw vulnerability, just about as vulnerable as anyone can get, something Saul never expected happens. He finds mercy. He finds grace. In a rather emotional monologue, David reveals how he could have taken Saul's life, and even cuts off a corner of his robe, and he shows it to him to prove it. David could have taken advantage of Saul's vulnerable state, and instead, David uses it to convince Saul that he did not wish him harm. For years, David had been in conflict with Saul, a conflict that he did not want. But until Saul finally let his guard down, could he see the truth. Not until he went to a place of vulnerability could he see that his fears were unfounded. Saul walks out of that cave changed. If you notice that the Bible says the first thing he does is cry. He lifted up his voice and he wept, it says. right there in front of his 3,000 tough guy men. Certainly not something that we would expect from a bitter old fool. Saul then gives his own emotional speech back to David, actually asking God's blessing to be upon David and conceding his kingdom to David. It's a dramatic shift. It's a huge change in how Saul viewed his world. And it wouldn't have been possible without that experience in the cave. Dr. Brown says vulnerability is the birthplace of change. It is the birthplace of growth. To use our Christian language, the Apostle Paul says that when we are weak, then we are strong. And that is the big takeaway. That is the defining aspect of our faith. You see, the culture we live in adamantly preaches just the opposite. Whenever we are in control, then we are strong. Whenever we are rich, whenever we get the right toys or get one more promotion, whenever we have the strongest military, or win the next election, then we are strong. We hear it all day, every day. And so we believe it's true. And we live our lives like it's true. And then we wonder, where is the joy? Where is the meaning? Why do our options in life seem so limited? All the while, God's Word tells us over and over and over again what is true. From Old Testament stories about kings and caves, to Paul's thorn in his flesh, to Christ dying on a cross. We see the only way to true strength comes when we are vulnerable. When we let down our defenses and surrender ourselves to God. Only then is our heart open enough. Only when we risk being vulnerable, we're ready to discover new possibilities, new experiences of grace. To quote Dr. Brown one last time, I promise. If we want greater clarity in our purpose, or deeper and more meaningful spiritual lives, vulnerability is the path. Now, I am not suggesting emotional recklessness, vulnerability at the wrong time, in the wrong place, with the wrong people, can do damage. It is a sensitive and tender. That is why prayer and discernment is important. Finding a group of people, a good friend who is trustworthy is important. Support groups, therapists, church. For many of us, it's simply a matter of being more open and more authentic with the people that we already love, people who already love us, people in our everyday lives. Our spouses, our partners, our children, a good friend. I don't know how or in what specific ways God will invite you to be more vulnerable in life. They may be recurring invitations that you are already completely aware of. And like me, completely avoiding. And they may be rather odd ones, which catch you by surprise, as they did Saul. However they manifest themselves, I do know that these invitations will come, and they will come for our benefit. Theologian Karl Barth says, grace must find expression in life. Otherwise, it is not grace. Vulnerability is the way, the vehicle through which we experience that grace. If we are willing to risk it, if we are willing to jump into that street fight, there is a real life gift, a tangible experiential gift. I know there